Hi everyone, welcome to season 2 of the Teacher's Surgery, where we have real and relatable conversations that is informed by parents, young people and teachers like yourself. And even if you're not one of those sets of people, you are still welcome to join and listen and learn. And this is really important that we learn together as a community. I am very pleased to welcome back our Series 1 superstars, Bola and Nyasha and Ryma. And ladies, you know the procedure. I'm going to ask you a question, and this question has been sent in by a teacher, which I think is really pertinent for now, because sometimes we hear a lot about from a parent's point of view, but what's it like for a teacher? And I'm really intrigued by your responses to this question. I'm regularly exhausted having to deal with the challenges of a S.E.N needs in my classroom. How and where can I get support?
Right, so my class early years, I have quite a lot of S.E.N kids, and it has been really challenging this term, just because I literally said to my colleague yesterday, I feel like I'm coming to work and bringing my kids with me.
Sure.
Because it's like you're trying to teach, obviously, the kids that don't have, you know, S.E.N and stuff, and then you're trying to get the kids with S.E.N involved in the class as well, and it's extremely challenging, you know, because obviously they find it really hard to follow instructions. That's just standard, and they have their needs are various. You know, if you don't have enough support staff to help, if you don't have enough support, then it's just stressful.
Can I ask you, look, is there a number of S.E.N kids that you can have? Like, say if you had like 6 and they'd say actually that's enough in your classroom. Is that a maximum amount you could have?
I would really love to know the answer for that, to be honest, because I feel like my class has a lot. And
I think, sorry to just cut you, but I think because over the years the S.E.N, special needs children, children with mental health, children are autistic, there's a higher intake now of children with different learning needs. So it's becoming, especially in mainstream school, it's becoming more difficult, whereas before you might have only had maybe 3 children in a class who had some form of learning disability. But now it's almost like you've got, you know, half the class have got ADHD.
Yeah.
You know, another 3 kids in the class have got Asperger's. Yeah. Another one in the corner has got, you know, autism. Another one's got, you know, dyspraxia. So there are so many different needs. And as a teacher, it's very difficult to be able to manage all of those needs. Now, you may have a learning support, but you may only have one learning support who's assigned to one student.
Okay.
So you're kind of juggling all these different needs. So when you're teaching, you're having to use differentiation work, you know, for different levels. So you're not just planning one lesson, like, okay, I'm planning this lesson for 10 children or 20 children or 30 children, depending on where you're teaching. You now have to think about, okay, those 5, I've got to think about this. Those 6, I've got to think about this. Those 7. And so that's where it becomes exhausting, I think,
like the
for a
child I
teacher.
deal with, I'm not actually her one-to-one or anything. She doesn't have a one-to-one, but she is non-verbal. And because of that, they've given her like a PECS book. So
what is that?
It's like, how can I say? It's like a book that has like visuals on it. So if she wants something, for example, she has the different visuals. She has like her water on there. She has toilet, books, toys, activity. So if she wants something, she's expected to get that PECS book and bring it to me and pick off what she wants. But she doesn't want to do it that way. She would rather grab my hand, like if I'm teaching, she will drag me to what she wants, you know, and it's really hard. I can't be like, oh, sorry, I'm busy doing something. Sometimes the LSAs, they're called to go, they've been called to go and do interventions in other classes. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, it throws the children off on the carpet and then it becomes a big mess.
I think it's really difficult because if you have a S.E.N child in your class, automatically you're assigned an LSA. Yes. But with that being said, there's like a shortage of them. Like there aren't.
Is that a learning support assistant?
That's
learning
right,
support assistant. Yeah,
I'm getting it.
I think it's a national thing. There's just nobody who wants to take on that role. So you have a class that there are going to be like 2 kids, for example, that need that. It's in their paperwork. They have to have an LSA with them, but there's literally physically none of them available. So you're told, okay, differentiate for that child, and I'm fed up of that word differentiate because that's all we do. That's all we do as teachers. Even if you're in a class that has no needs at all, supposed no needs, you're still going to differentiate. And that is just a case of making sure that everyone can access the work that you're setting them. But that's the whole point with S.E.N children. Some, they can't access the work. So you're having to do something completely different for them. And then on the flip side of that, you're not actually trained to do that. You're not trained at all. So parents are sending their kids to school and thinking, well, the school have told me that they're equipped, they're ready, they can take care of my child, they can teach my child. But actually they put them in a classroom and more often, I should say, that doesn't happen. We're not trained. So we're literally going, we're freestyling.
Firefighting.
Yeah, literally. We get to know the child and it's okay, I think I'm going to give them this particular word, and I'm going to ask for them to draw a picture that they associate with this word. But it has nothing to do with what you're teaching. I'm teaching Romeo and Juliet to the rest of the class, and I'm getting this child to draw a picture of a ball and associate it with this word ball. It's too much of a freestyle. So in that sense, I don't think just in general we're supported in that fraction.
But on the other hand, though, I must say, I do think that some teachers just can't be bothered. You know, they know that there are certain kids in the class that need that extra support and extra help. They've not done anything. They've not spoken to their SENCO, nothing. They're just not interested.
But I feel like sometimes even the SENCOs are not
What is
extremely
SENCO? Tell me.
helpful. The
special needs education
coordinator.
And are they're based at school?
Yes, but you have to have a SENCO. Well, you should have to have a SENCO in your
They're basically in charge for all the kids that have S.E.N. Basically, they have all their information. They do referrals, different things like that. So if me as a teacher has a concern about a child, I can go and talk to the SENCO. But I find the process is quite slow sometimes.
Yeah, because
they're
sometimes
stretched thin, aren't they? They're stretched thin because, as Nyasha mentioned beforehand, there's such a massive intake of kids with special needs or special educational needs, I should say, and it's just this one coordinator that has to make sure all of them are taken care of. And if you've got a school with 1,500 kids and
at least 300 or 400
and
of them,
300 or 400 of them have special educational needs, it's just that one person trying to sort it out for all of them. It's not obtainable. It really isn't. So you really can't blame them at the same time, I feel, anyway, because they are also learning on the job as well. So it's just that manner.
Guys, the Teach This Arts, how and where can she get support? Is there anywhere that this teacher can turn to?
I would say that particular teacher or any teacher that is feeling stressed in their teaching or anything should definitely speak to SLT. So SLT is the
Senior leadership team.
Yeah, send them an email, book a meeting and take it from there. And then if they don't respond to your needs or whatever, there's various things you can look up on the internet about how to get support.
I think also it's important to have, to kind of go and meet your SENCO, so meet them and have a look through, you know, if there are certain diagnoses on students and you don't know what on earth, like what the hell is this, then there's so much information out there for you to take time and understand. But sometimes we have issues with some teachers who don't even believe that students have any form of S.E.N. Like there are teachers who think that, oh, he's just being silly. How can he have ADHD? He's behaving badly. you know, send him out the class. Oh, I'm not going to do an extra lesson or prepare something because this kid is just naughty. So then you're going to have an issue, you know, like I said, an issue with that. So it's important to, even as parents, they need to identify as well. Parents need to identify that their child has a special needs, which I mentioned in season one. I mentioned it. So hey, I have to refer in referrals. But yeah, in season one, like I said, it's not, if your child has autism, you don't lock them in a room and beat them up and try and beat autism out of them, or, you know, taking extreme measures, taking them for counselling to get some sort of therapy so that they don't have it. No, you have to deal with your child. Your child has learning needs, and so if you don't know how to deal with it, look for support. Go to the school, go to you know, there's a lot of things out there in the community, networks in the community, so that you're aware. I think that's very important.
Sorry, can I just add also?
You can
resources.
just add.
You can just add.
We have these S.E.N kids, which are they're lovely, but we don't have the resources. So they tell us, do this, do that with the child. They create the textbooks, they put all the activities on there, but do we have the resources? There's no point of having a picture of, I don't know, a balloon, and we don't have balloons. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it confuses the child. It makes the child very frustrated. So resources is something they really need to think about when it comes to S.E.N kids in mainstream schools. They need to give the money for that.
But I think the homework needs to be done as well, in the sense that parents definitely need to do their research into what particular schools can provide, because every school's going to be like, we can take care of your child,
and they don't.
but they can't.
And then they exclude them as well. They just expel them from school. So then we get, you know, from me who works with students who've been excluded, who have all of those needs, then they're all dumped in one place, and then it's just, you know, it's just like a free for all. Everyone's doing everything that they want to do. So yeah, I think it's very important that, you know, the teachers are supported and get the funding as well for it.
I will definitely, because I've done this many times before, and I'll always do it. I would always go back to my department and just ask for just resources or just advice. Okay, I have this child in my class. What have you? I know you had a child like this in your class last year. What did you do with them? Things like just speaking about it, because I think a lot of teachers, or at least we're taught, or is an unsaid rule that, you know, you're a teacher, so you need to know what to do, and that's that. And we kind of suffer in silence, but that's not what you should be doing. You need to speak to your department. It doesn't even have to be your head of department or somebody who has some sort of post hold. It could be just a fellow teacher. What do you do? Or what would you do in this situation? Things like, just start that conversation. Just as the child needs support, we as teachers, or you as a teacher, would need that same support as well.
Thank you, ladies. Speak to SLT, meet your Senko, and speak to your colleagues.
Yes,
Perfect.
and also use Google.
And Google's free. Yeah, Google's free.
Google's our friend.
Google serves live. Ladies, you are all au fait with what happens next now. It's mystery question time.
Okay. Woo. Go, Bola, go.
No, she needs to choose. I'll wait for you to choose.
You know, I'm gonna choose Ryma. I'm gonna stand up and walk quick. Into it. Blue. Love it.
Okay.
Ooh.
My child is disruptive at school but behaves well at home. Ooh, cheeky bugger. Is it the teacher's lack of behavioural management, or am I doing something wrong as a parent? Listen, see those children? Let me put this right
Ryma
here.
knows them.
I know them all too well.
Yeah.
Okay, kids that behave like, you know, little something in the classroom, but, you know, turn on the angel button when they get home.
Yeah.
What do you really do? Those kids, do you know what?
No, what you do is you make sure that you phone their parents.
You phone their parents.
You know, unfortunately, we can't record them, because I'd love to record them in class and see them.
What you do is you give them that African look.
No, I've actually called the parent.
What African look is that?
I've actually called the parent in front of them. So I've been in the classroom. Maybe it's the school I'm at right now, but I've literally picked up my phone and I've gone on Sims and I've got their parents' number and I've called them. I'm like, XYZ's behave in such a way in
Yeah,
class.
that
Now you're on
works.
loudspeaker and the rest of the class are here as well listening. So mum, could you please advise your child in terms of what he should...
Oh
I
my
love
gosh!
that
And then
works.
what's
That
happened?
He
works.
went red. He went red,
That works.
and
I've
I
done
loved
that
it.
as
I was like,
well.
"Yes, mum, tell him about himself."
Okay.
Honestly, but all joking aside, sometimes a parent does need to see what their child is like in the
Yeah.
classroom.
Yes.
Because we all feel like our kids are perfect, and oh my God, no, he wouldn't do that, or she
Yeah.
wouldn't do. No, that's the difference. No, your child is doing this.
Yeah.
Your child is ringleading as well. They're not following. They are doing it. They are the ones who are instigating. So yeah, I like those kids though. On the flip side, I do.
You know what?
I do like them.
I actually had an incident where it was the other way round. So the kid was really bad at home, and then in my class was just excellent. So the parents came in to have a discussion about what do I do? My kid is getting all these good reports because I kept phoning. I had no idea that he was bad at home. So I kept phoning, oh, your son is fantastic and this and that and that. And I think the parent was like, so they came in and they said, oh, he's actually violent at home.
Oh, wow.
And he doesn't listen to me, he doesn't talk to me, this and this. And I tell you, he went red because the thought of
Being
Miss,
embarrassed in
yeah,
school,
thought of
knowing
his
that what it's
mum
like.
telling me, who I think is just the best kid
Student.
in the class and everything like that. So it kind of, and then I phoned the mum. I said to him, after that I said, I'm going to keep checking on your progress at home, which was weird because I'm having to check on his progress at home. But it started to get better at home because the parent could now use, I'm going to tell Miss what you're really like.
And doesn't that good that it's the strong communication between the
Yeah,
parent
I
and the
think it's
school and the
important.
teacher that actually he was so embarrassed, like Miss knows I'm a bad,
Yeah,
I've
I'm
been
a
bad
bad.
at
Especially
home.
when I
A
heard
baddie.
he pushed his mum down the stairs. I was like, I beg, I really I went. It's disgusting anyway, but
Yeah.
I really went over the top and said, I can't believe that you would do such a thing. And he was
That happens
mortified.
a lot though, because if you think about it, I think about this more than I care to actually think about it, but we see these kids a lot more than their actual parents. And so where it does sound strange, they're listening to their teacher before they actually listen to their parents at home. It's a common thing because we see them a lot more often. So I don't mind. I've had parents call me and say, I can't handle XYZ. She's a terror at home. She really listens to you. What can you tell me? I'm just like, firstly, I'm like, that's your child.
Yeah,
I can't
I
help
did feel
you.
a bit sad.
But then I
because
get
you
on the
think,
phone, I'm just like, okay, so this is what works for me. And it is about that whole support network.
Yeah.
It takes a whole village to raise a
I
child.
100%
and all
believe that.
So,
100% believe that.
yeah. So,
Bola, from you.
The African look, I don't.
can you expand on that? What's the African
What's the
look?
African
What
look?
is it? A Nigerian look or something?
No,
'Cause what is
I
it?
just, it's not a look per se, yeah. But if I tell you to sit down once, you don't listen, I will stare at you until you sit down, and they know me for that now, so they don't mess around.
Yeah.
You just stare.
That's my African.
But then
Bola
what if you're not
African
African? If you're English, what are you
get
going to
the
do then?
English, whatever
no,
look.
they'll get it. They'll
They'll
get
just
it.
teach
But
you
they
to
know,
stare
they'll
you down.
understand. They're like, okay, I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on here, but Miss seems like she's about to kill me.
Yeah.
So I'm
So
gonna
I'll
sit down.
stare and
It
they'll
doesn't
say,
matter if
Miss
I'm
looks
from
like she's
Canning
about to
Town. I
lose
get where
it.
Miss is coming from.
But there are some kids who are just like, they're not going to
They
listen to
try,
you.
They try it
you
with
know.
everybody. They test you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's about boundaries.
Yeah.
It's definitely about boundaries.
Yeah.
We can all be a little bit Jekyll and Hyde,
Yeah.
can't we?
Yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
I'm saying. I think those kids are wonderful. I like sitting with them. Like, tell me, walk me through your mindset.
Ryma just likes to call their parents in front of them. Like,
I love
I'll
it.
put your mum on loudspeaker
I
in the
love
class.
it. I love it. Everybody, it's
Yeah.
character building. My mum did it to me. It's character building. Look at me, I'm all right. Oh, they're going to be good too. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you lot. Thank
I think
you
it
so
can
much.
be difficult though if the parents then don't, like, they think, no, my child is an angel and my child is good and it must be you. And you think, no, it is you.
And you know what you,
know,
do?
so
you give
that's
the mother that look as well.
so I'm going to learn that now, the African look,
The
the
African look.
African look. So,
I like calling the parents, just blow them up straight away after the
I'm
incident.
telling you,
Like,
call up their mums or dads in front of the class of 30. It will bring them down here. That's what we need.
back down into check.
Backward.
That's
Yeah.
where you need to be.
yeah.
12-year-old you. That's it.
Ladies, thank you. I've learned a lot. I need to perfect my African look.
The African look.
I'm gonna try it.
You're almost
Well, you're
there.
gonna have to teach
Don't
me
worry, I
afterwards.
got you, Kelly.
I need it. Guys, thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Teacher's Surgery. We'll see you next week. But like, subscribe, follow, and share whatever those people do that say their influencers do on a full-time basis. You should also do the same. And we'll see you next week.